In the very recent trailer that dropped, we saw the possibility of 2 new kaiju appearing in Godzilla 2, King of the Monsters. So let's get into some theories as to what these kaijus are. So a lot of people are saying that there's a possibility that this is Mothra. This is definitely not Mothra. First of all, what would Mothra be doing underground? That just makes no sense. In this movie, as far as we know, Mothra only has 2 life cycles. It's not that she doesn't have 2 life cycles, but we only see the 2. We see her from a pupa to an adult or an imago. Here is her pupa stage. Her legs look nothing like that. So there's only one other stage that she could be in, and it's her imago stage or her adult stage. Again, just like with the breakdown for the trailer that I did, her legs don't look like the same legs that are coming out of the earth. Also, as a flying creature, usually their legs aren't designed to break through earth like that. I already went into breakdown of why her legs look the way they were compared to the legs of the creature that was coming out of the ground. You guys can check out that video in the card above. Now, since that creature isn't Mothra, what the hell is it? I kept looking back over the scene over and over again to look where the legs were coming from. Now, one thing I didn't notice, because people are saying this is kumonga. However, even though I believe that initially, and there's good reason to believe that it is kumonga, I don't think it is. And this is the reason why. Let's look back at this clip very slowly. I'm going to play it several times. Now you can look for yourself, but one thing I did notice that I didn't notice before is we see the legs coming out, which looks like it could be 4 legs up there or 6 legs. But what is this big mountainous tail looking thing coming out from the back? What is this growth? Let's look at it at an even slower speed. I don't know about you guys, but something longer is coming out over here. And there is a huge space in between the legs that we see up in the front and the back right here. Now, I'm not totally sure if there were any scorpion kaijus in the older Godzilla series, but this looks like a scorpion. Also consider the biome that it's in. It looks to be a very sandy terrain or a desert. Also, looking back at the trailer, it looks like this could be an oil mine. Oil reserves are usually in Saudi Arabia, or at least Saudi Arabia is the place that has the second largest of them in the world. Saudi Arabia is a desert biome, which is what it looks like here, and you can also see the oil pumps right there. What animal usually makes its home in desert biomes? Scorpions. Not to mention, at this point, just think about it, the legs are already in view. This animal is coming from out of the ground. There are some scorpions who are also known to have buried themselves in the ground as well. So we have the legs that are already out of the ground and in view. However, this long thing in the back behind the legs is still coming out of the earth. That means that it's significantly longer than the legs, which means it's a tail or a neck. So this has to be a scorpion-like creature, or a really weird creature with a long neck and insect legs, which I think is very unlikely. As far as I know, I don't think there are any scorpion kaijus from the old movies, but I could be wrong. Let me know if there are. But if that's the case, and there is not, that means this is a completely new kaiju. So the next question for this kaiju is, why would it be over there? Why would it be in the movie, period? Is it going to help Godzilla fight Ghidorah, which is something that I theorized in the first breakdown trailer thing that I did? Well, looking back at the trailer and really taking inventory and everything that's happening, I don't think so. I think what probably is going to happen is initially, before everything starts going awry, Godzilla is going to be seen defeating all these kaijus. This is probably a kaiju that is created for the purpose of Godzilla showing that he is on the human side. Not for his sake, but for the movie's sake, for the audience's sake. They did mention in the previous movie that there are kaijus like this all over the place. That Godzilla is not the only one. The Mutos are not the only one. Maybe because of this happening and after seeing Godzilla defeat all of these creatures, they're going to decide that, okay, maybe Godzilla isn't so bad after all. Or at least a group of people are going to believe that. There has to be a pattern of proof that Godzilla is fighting against things that are trying to harm humans. Also, in this clip right here, it looks as though Godzilla himself is in a desert biome. He looks absolutely terrifying in this clip. But also you can see the wound in his head like he had just finished fighting something. And there's a whole bunch of dust. And behind him it looks like there's dust there too, but also a very small city. The one thing we've seen in the trailer for sure is different biomes or environments. Mothra, it's not Mothra because she's always seen behind a water environment. Godzilla himself is always seen emerging from the water. Rodan is seen emerging from a volcano or fiery territory. Ghidorah is from the ice. And this thing is from the earth. Now, I initially thought that this was Baragon because Baragon is known to have done this, bury himself under the earth. He's a burrowing kaiju. Looking at his profile, it also looks like it could fit because he has a very round back. He's also known as the Earth Kaiju. And a lot of you have been saying that it looks like Anguirus, and it could be. However, there's one reason why I think it's more so Baragon than Anguirus. I mentioned before in the previous video that this thing doesn't look like it has spikes on its back. And of course, reasonably, we couldn't see the spikes here if it does have spikes because there's a whole bunch of earth still caked on it. But there is one significant feature that this creature rising out of the ground seems to have. Now, this could be a coincidence or just some rock misplaced, but if you look carefully, it looks like it has one single horn on its head. Boop, right there. Looking at Anguirus, he also has horns on his head and even one on his nose. But there are several of them, not just one. However, Baragon's horn is significantly more prominent, and so is this horn on this creature. Now, alternatively, it could be a completely new kaiju, and we may be wrong about this, but the reason why I don't think it's a completely new kaiju, or the kaijus that we're seeing in the trailer that are not the traditional kaijus, are not necessarily whole new kaijus, is because they still want to bring people in. So even though they may introduce a new kaiju, I still think that they'll bring back some of the old ones so people have that sense of nostalgia. It's why they redesigned Godzilla the way he is and not changed it too much. It's why they brought back Rodan. Now you may be asking, well, if this is a well-known kaiju, why wouldn't they have said anything about the trailer or said anything in the trailer about it? Well, why would they need to? Why would you have everything spoiled? I'm sure it would be a very pleasant surprise to the audience to see another kaiju that they're familiar with showing up that they didn't expect to. Now, it could be either Anguirus or Baragon, but the horn seems to be a more surefire way of telling which it is. It could be neither, and the horn probably is misplaced due to the redesign of both the creatures. So it could very well be Anguirus if they decide to position the horns closer to the front of his head or redesign the creatures altogether. But right now, I'm sticking with Baragon. So, what creature do you think these kaijus are? Do you think they're totally new kaijus or based on old kaijus, just redesigned? Do you think one is new and one is old? Or do you still think that this is kumonga? And do you think the Earth Kaiju is either Baragon or Anguirus? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.